Big Deke News is back on a Saturday. Steelers play tomorrow, 1 o'clock, against the Atlanta Falcons on the road. So obviously we have to do our preview episode. But before we get into that, we've got to go over some injury updates. First one is running back Najee Harris. He's dealing with an oblique injury that knocked him out of Monday Night Football against the Colts. His status was up in the air against the Falcons as he was DNP on Wednesday and Thursday. But just a couple days ago, he said he'd be good to go and was limited in practice on Friday. I'm assuming he takes over the RB1 role as usual, and I think he's going to have success because this Falcons defense is pretty weak. And sticking with the running backs, Jaylen Warren, he is listed as questionable, the most interesting one to me because just a few days ago, he said he was 100%. The doctors cleared him, so I don't know why he's listed as questionable now. Is this the Steelers trying to pull off some gamesmanship against the Falcons, making them guess which running backs are going to be out there? I don't think it matters. I don't think we have to go through all this because just in general, the Steelers are going to have success on the ground against the Falcons. Next one is TJ Watt, the one that's most heartbreaking. He's listed as questionable with the ribs. His return just hasn't been what is expected, I think we could say, for a Defensive Player of the Year that we know TJ Watt to be. Don't get me wrong, his impact is felt. We would rather have him out there than not 100 times out of 100. And he had that nice pick against the Bengals. He almost had that sack against Dalton. He tackled him at the line of scrimmage. Like, there's been plays, there's been moments, but we haven't seen the TJ Watt dominance that we're used to. And that's probably just due to rust, and he's probably still a little bit injured. And now he's even more injured with this ribs. But obviously we want him out there against Atlanta, so prayers up that happens. Ahkello Witherspoon, he is out with a hamstring injury. He's been out with a hamstring injury basically the whole season, but he's also been put on IR, so I'm guessing he's going to be missing the rest of the way. Malik Reed, questionable with the back. This one just popped up today. So if TJ Watt's questionable, Malik Reed's questionable. Who else do we have as edge rushers? Didn't we cut a couple guys when TJ Watt came back? So this is not good news. Either one of the two gotta play because the Falcons like to run the ball a lot. I think we should be fine in defending their run offense, but man, we'll be hurting if it's only Alex Highsmith out there and then just some rando. Is it Jameer Jones? Is he going to be our next edge rusher, next man up? But we do have some good news. In case Malik Reed or TJ Watt go down, DeMarvin Leal has been activated off IR and will be playing against the Atlanta Falcons. Now that the injury stuff's out of the way, on to the preview. And I think I'm going to keep the same format that I used last week, where we're just going to be talking shop, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, how the Steelers win this game on this episode of Big Deke News, and then we'll do a YouTube Shorts for my Big Deke investments tomorrow. Put it simple, though, I am really confident in this game. I'm trying not to be overconfident. I'm trying to stay humble with it because it is still the NFL. And the Falcons somehow have a better record than us. They are 5-7. We are 4-7. But I still don't think they're that good of a team. Their best player is a dude that just a couple years ago switched full-time to a running back position after being mostly a receiver and a return specialist. That's their best player. Yes, I'm talking Cordarrelle Patterson. I guess it could be arguable if maybe A.J. Terrell's their best player. But, man, outside of those two, they just have a bunch of okay guys or just good guys. Grady Jarrett's solid. Drake London, he's solid, but they don't get him the ball enough. They got a couple decent offensive linemen. Their inside linebackers aren't bad, but on paper, this team doesn't scare me at all. And from watching them, their team doesn't really scare me at all. It's really just as simple as the matchups. I really like what the Steelers are going up against here. The Falcons on defense are pretty much bottom 5 or 6 in the league in both stopping the run and stopping the pass. And what have the Steelers been doing on offense these last couple weeks? Have been improving in both of those categories. Our rushing attack is top 5 in the league over these last 3 games. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that Pickett, again, is constantly improving. I sound like a broken record because I keep on saying that. But it is true. Pickett's constantly improving, and this offense as a whole is improving. So we should be able to take advantage of the Falcons' defense. Pick your poison, whether it is running the ball or passing the ball. And then on the flip side, again, I like the matchups here. The Falcons' specialty is running the ball. That is their catalyst. They're a top 5 running offense in the league. They utilize 4 guys, Algier, Cordarrelle Patterson, and also Huntley as their running backs. And then also Marcus Mariota uses his legs, over 400 yards on the ground for the season. The Falcons utilize a read option system, and this is another reason why I like this matchup. Not only do the Steelers just stop the run in general, but they've had success against read option systems in the past, namely the Baltimore Ravens. We're very familiar with them. We play them twice a year, and we do a pretty good job. What is the difference between the Falcons and the Ravens? The Falcons have Marcus Mariota, whereas the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a lot better than Marcus Mariota. So I don't see why the Steelers should have any trouble containing this Falcons rushing attack, which would then make them, well, I guess, I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit. If TJ Watt and Malik Reed aren't playing, then there are some question marks right there. But it does help getting DeMarvin Leal back. I'm assuming, listen, this is just my big Deke, what do you want to say? My big Deke predictions, I guess. I'm saying either TJ Watt or Malik Reed playing this game. One or the other, for sure. I just feel like the Steelers will be able to stop the run on the Falcons. The question is to what extent, because I'm sure the Falcons will still have success, just like last week. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts still had some success, but to what degree? I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I don't think we're going to stop them to the extent that the Falcons become one-dimensional, because they're going to stick with the ground game. It's just I feel like we're going to make them pass it a little bit more than they want, which, again, is great for us. It's as simple as matchups, as I said, because the Falcons' receivers are pretty bad. They do have Drake London, the guy they just drafted in the first round. Kyle Pitts is on IR, and they had Calvin Ridley, but he got suspended for trying to bet on a parlay, and they traded him to Jacksonville anyway. Outside of Drake London, they really don't have any other receiving threats. I don't even know any of these dudes' names. So I'm not scared there. And they also have Marcus Mariota throwing them the ball, who really isn't known to be that good of a passing quarterback. Like, he'll play it safe. He can move the ball, but he isn't going to gash you. And there are sometimes, even though he doesn't turn the ball over that much, he'll make some really boneheaded mistakes. I saw it on Thursday night. He was trying to do his best Patrick Mahomes impersonation. Didn't work out well. So even though the Steelers secondary is probably their weakest unit, I see no problems with them going up against the Falcons receivers and a Marcus Mariota. My score prediction on the podcast was Steelers 30, Falcons 10. I'm sticking with it. I see no reason right now to change that. I guess if TJ Watt and or Malik Reed are out, do Falcons put up maybe some extra points? Do they get to 13? Do they get to 17? But as far as the offense, Steelers can put up 30. I see no reason why not. They dropped 20 against the Saints. Should have been 26 just if Matthew Wright would have made his field goals. That's not even considering two. Najee Harris dropped a touchdown by Pickett. Then we put up 30 against the Bengals. And then last week against the Colts, we had 24. Also, could have been more. So the Falcons' defense is a worse defense than any of those three teams we just played. And it's in a dome, so we don't got to worry about inclement weather. The offense continues to get better, so I don't see why Pickett can't have his best game to date. And whoever's going to be running the ball for the Steelers is going to have success. Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, McFarland, Benny Snell. We've been having success these last however many games. I just don't see that stopping now. The O-line is starting to gel as a unit, and this Falcons defense just ain't it. So it can be on the ground game where we have success, can be in the passing game. It's probably going to be a mix of both. I think we're going to have some really good balance. Just overall, it's going to be a good game, man. Yeah, I see us putting up 30 points. This is going to be, again, another stamp of like, yeah, this is Steeler football. We're finding our identity. We got to win out. There's a sense of urgency. I don't know if people are going to be thinking because this is a game in between the last one on Monday night and then we got Baltimore coming up that we're going to have a letdown. No, we got to win every game. I think the team feels that. Tomlin feels that. And obviously, the fans feel it too. Steelers win 30-10. Let me know what your guys' score predictions are down below in the comments. Enjoy the game. Watch out for my Big Deke investments. I'll be dropping those tomorrow. Stay chilling. Peace.